This is Bailey Contemporary Arts Building. It's located in Pompano's Old Town section, which is currently undergoing a rejuvenation of sorts. This is Susan Clifton. Susan is an artist in residence at the Bailey Contemporary Arts Building. Her studio is filled with her past and present creations. She loves talking about her work, which incorporates positive thoughts with fellow artists and the public. In fact, Susan was recently featured on Beacon TV's Spotlight on the Arts in Broward County. We recently had the opportunity to sit down with Susan and ask her to explain how she got her idea for her recent works and the process behind creating them. Here's what she had to say.
So people ask, why positive thoughts? About 6 years ago, I was in a very negative place. I wasn't happy with the way my art career was going, the way my web design career was going, things in my personal life. I just was thinking very negatively all of the time. And I started working on that, reading books, watching videos, and really immerse myself in it to get myself out of that habit of always thinking negatively. And one day it just sort of dawned on me that I can print anything on this fabric, why not thoughts? And so I experimented with that, I liked the results, and now I'm completely immersed in it. And I have found that just because my artwork is so immersed in the positive thoughts, that my whole life has turned around. My thinking is always positive now. Maybe not always, but most of the time I'm thinking positively. I'm an artist that likes to combine traditional techniques with modern technology. I still stretch my own canvases, and not a lot of artists do that today. I use Photoshop, I work from photography, and I have my fabrics digitally printed, so I'm using the techniques that are offered in the 21st century to create my artwork. It all begins with the photograph. So I usually set up a photo shoot. These days I'm doing mostly hands, so it's either my hand or my husband's hand, or a combination of the two. We have a few paintings where we're both in it. And from that photograph, I then bring it into Photoshop and I start working on composition, and maybe introduce some other colors and some other graphics to make it a little bit more interesting. And then I convert it to grayscale and put the word in, make sure the balance is correct, and then from there I transfer it to the canvas and I begin painting. The painting is the most fun for me. The fabric mosaic is painful, but the painting is a lot of fun. It's really where I began. I began just as a painter. I was not a mixed media artist, I was a painter. And I love this combination of both, but the part that's the most fun for me is the painting. After the acrylic painting part is complete, I begin the fabric mosaic part. So I cut the fabric up with a cutting wheel and a mat into tiny pieces, triangles and squares and long rectangles, so you can read some of the words. And I start with the darker colors, and then I move on to different shades, and then at some point I mix around a lot and depend on whatever section I feel like working on. And it all starts to really look like something after a while. In the very beginning, it's like kind of scary because it doesn't look like anything, and you think, oh, this isn't working. And then all of a sudden, you see it. You see the fingers, you see the hand, and it's a really fascinating experience. In the final step, I add the word to the top of the canvas. So a lot of questions that I get is, why are the words cut off? And the only explanation that I can give is it looked better. It looked better that way. When I had white above it, it just looked incomplete. It's more of a design composition decision. The word is actually the most important part of this composition because it instantly tells the viewer what this painting is about, along with the hand symbol or whatever other imagery is on the canvas. People always say, but why can't I read what's in the fabric mosaic part? I can't read it. That's intentional. I want you to be able to read a few words and then complete the sentence yourself. I want you to be inspired by the work so that you do a little bit of the work. So you already know what the subject of the painting is. You can read enough of the words to figure out how the rest of that sentence probably goes, or maybe it tells you something a little bit about yourself. In business, everyone's talking about the why. So you must have a why. Why are you doing what you're doing? And my why is I wish to inspire people. I want everyone to be thinking positively. I think the only way our world is going to improve is if we all start being more positive. What about you? Are you thinking positive? If you did think more positive, how would it change your life?